I'm going to show you today how to learn and implement AI into your new business from scratch. It is going to be a 9-step process. I see more and more entrepreneurs trying to implement AI into their businesses, and maybe there are some of you that want to implement AI into other people's businesses so that you make some money on the side. Now, we are going to cover all of these bases, and if you are a complete beginner, this video is actually for you because we are going to go from scratch all the way to being able to scale businesses fully with AI infrastructures. A lot of the assets that I've used throughout this video, and also extra assets that are going to help you implement AI into your business or other people's businesses, are going to be in my community in school. Tinkerlab is completely free. It's the first link in the description. It is going to help you a lot in this process. Now let's get into it. As I said, this is a 9-step process, and we are going to go from the first step all the way to the last step, one by one. Now, the first step is to actually learn a bit about AI and about no-code tools specifically. So the first step would be the minimal stack, what I learned first. For no-code, it would be one of these 3 applications, or multiple if you want, but I think if you learn one of them, you are 80 to 90% set to build almost everything that you want. Zapier, Make.com, or N8N. Zapier being the easiest one, then it would be Make.com, and lastly it would be N8N. I think N8N would be more of an advanced tool. Next, we would need to learn a bit about AI, so the AI basics, which would be prompt patterns, JSON outputs, and a few short examples. Now, you could do this by using the 2 most common LLMs, which would be ChatGPT and Claude. Personally, in my opinion, I don't think you really need a pro paid version for each one of these. But if you do manage to get a paid version for ChatGPT or for Claude, it would be a huge advantage for you. I personally use ChatGPT for now. Then we will need to learn a bit about APIs, just the 101, so the basics, how to use HTTP modules, how to connect apps via auth, and how to use webhooks. To be honest, webhooks are the most important thing you can actually learn, because webhooks are the things that are going to connect most of your applications that you are going to use in order to create AI systems for your business. And then it would be the data layer. Basically, you can learn Google Sheets or Notion as simple CRMs or other applications, for example, Airtable. The idea here is to be able to learn a software, to learn an app that is going to help you to manipulate data, like Google Sheets, Notion, Airtable, or any other CRM that would help you do your job. Now, the rule for the first step would be to learn just enough to ship 2 workflows this week. So let's say you should concentrate a bit more on using no-code platforms like Make.com. Personally, I would focus on Make.com because it's kind of in between Zapier and N8N. It's a bit cheaper if you go for the paid version for $10 per month, and you can do a bit more things than Zapier. For AI basics, I would really watch 2 to 3 tutorials specific for these 3 things, for prompt patterns, for JSON outputs, and for few short examples. When it comes to APIs, it's not really that much to learn. I think a video would actually help you, and it is enough, right? And for the data layer, I think you already know how to use Google Sheets or Notion, but if you don't, again, 1 to 2 tutorials for each one of these apps would be sufficient. Therefore, in a week, I think you would be able to learn enough just to be able to start working on your first 2 workflows. The second step would be to create a snapshot of your business to have clear image of your workflows. For instance, you should have a clear image of your CRM, how the hierarchy is built, all of the spaces, all of the views, all of the custom fields that you use inside your CRM. And also all of your processes should be documented. For instance, you could do it visually like this. You could create diagrams for how a lead comes from a web form all the way to getting into your pipeline inside your CRM. You should have processes for all of the steps that a client takes inside your business, right? So a client journey, or all of these steps that an employee has to do on a daily basis to actually fulfill the service that your company does. So what snapshot of business actually means? It's basically a 1-page map of how your business runs today. And you can think of it like 6 boxes from first touch. So basically you have a lead coming in from your website all the way to referral. That lead is being converted into client, and that client is going to refer you some other leads. For each box, you should write a trigger, what starts it, done when, what finished looks like, owner, who's responsible, tools, what apps you actually use, KPI, one number that proves it works, 3 key steps max, and data to capture, fields you'll need later, right? And you need 3 rules for the snapshot of the business. You need to keep it in one page. If it doesn't fit, you wrote too much. You need to use verbs for steps, for example, capture, validate, and send, and use 1 KPI per box, not 5, only 1 KPI. These would be some examples. So for instance, for the discovery call box, let's say, the trigger would be the lead books a call, done when brief and next steps are being sent. The owner is going to be a project management or a founder. Tools are going to be Calendar, Meet, Zoom, or Notion. KPI is going to be call to proposal rate over 70%. This is going to be your one singular and most important KPI. The steps are going to be this, from call to notes to summary email, and the data is going to be goals, constraints, timeline, and decision makers. The exact same thing you have to do for proposal, delivery, for your services. These are only other 2 examples for you to get inspired. And also here we have a template. This is a blank template that you are going to find out inside Tinkerlab that is going to help you create all of these boxes, all of these one-page maps for your processes. Now, because this might be a pretty tedious action to do, to create all of these 6 pages, it's going to take you a lot of time. Why not use AI to help you build these? So the third step is going to be to use AI as a partner to map your workflows. You can use this specific prompt. Again, you're going to find it inside my Tinker community. Act as an operation analyst for your small business. You're going to describe your business and create a one-page process catalog with 6 processes, right? So on and so forth. Now, once you have used this prompt to create all of these 6 pages, you have your 6 PDFs, right? You are going to go into the 4th step, which is going to be to self-AI audit workflow by workflow. So you can go and feed all of the PDFs with the workflows in another ChatGPT project, and this will become your co-founder. This is a really crucial step because once you have all of the processes on how your business is running, you can feed them inside a ChatGPT project. Therefore, that ChatGPT project is going to become your co-founder. He is going to know exactly how your business is being run, and he's going to be able to give you advice on how to further scale your business, how to create AI solutions for your processes, and so on and so forth. Now, he will have all of the knowledge about how your business runs, and it's going to be detrimental in creating AI solutions for you. For each workflow, you're going to need goals, pain points, manual steps, handoffs, and failure points. And then you're going to ask AI to propose automation/AI opportunities. And they should look something like this. You should have all of these different ideas for different parts of your business. For example, the lead acquisition part, the lead conversion, and the delivery. Now, let's go a bit into ChatGPT and show you how you should do it. So we're in ChatGPT now. You're going to go here for a new project. You're going to name this project co-founder, let's say. You're going to create it. And then you already have your 6 PDFs on how your business is running. We are going to get those PDFs and we are going to input them into add files right here. Also, you can give him some instructions. You're going to save it. And there you go. You have a co-founder that has data on how your business is running and has access to all of the knowledge in the world. There you go. Now, once we have all of these AI project ideas to implement inside our business, we are going to go to step number 5, which is going to be to prioritize low-hanging fruits first. Now, we are going to be doing this by using an opportunity matrix. I actually posted a video yesterday or 2 days ago on how to use the opportunity matrix, basically how to prioritize all of your AI projects. And it looks something like this. You can go and check that video to go a bit more in depth into the process, but it's relatively simple. You basically need to answer 2 questions for each one of your AI project. How much business impact will this project have, which is going to be the x-axis on the metrics, and how much effort will it take to implement, which is going to be the y-axis. And you are going to be able to put them on these metrics. Also, you can go into your co-founder that you just built, get those AI ideas that you have brainstormed with AI, put them in there and tell him about the AI opportunity metrics, and he is going to help you put them on this graph, basically. So again, AI is going to do the job for you. The goal here first is to identify the low-hanging fruit projects, which would be this. Projects that are high on business impact and are small on effort to implement. So for example, engagement-based automated support nudges or AI call recordings and automated CRM updates, so on and so forth. The projects that are on this quadrant, and specifically the ones that are as low as possible. Now, once you identify them, you are going to start them, right? First one, second one, and third one. And these are going to be your low-hanging fruits. The next step would only be to build them, right? You're going to build your first and second AI project. You should take your skills in no-code and AI and build the AI solutions using one of the platforms in step 1, N8N, Make.com, or Zapier, whatever. Now, as a tip, you might already find some low-hanging fruit solutions in the template sections for each app. For instance, if you go into Make.com, in the template section, you're going to find here thousands of templates that might directly apply to your business, right? Then use folders to stay organized. This is really important. In order to be organized, we would use folders. So in Make.com, you can go into the folder section up top, click plus here, and create a folder. You should create folders for each one of the parts in your company. So maybe lead acquisition, just like I showed you here with the AI project, you should create a folder for a lead acquisition, lead conversion, and delivery. Have AI projects in each one of these folders. Therefore, you're going to be more organized. Now, once we have completed basically step number 6, we're going to go to step number 4, which is going to be to roadmap the harder stuff, right? Once we have built the low-hanging fruits, we are going to have some bigger AI projects on our matrix, and we are going to concentrate on them here. You know, once you know the order of which you are going to build the AI project in, you can create a timeline with completion and implementation estimations for each one. A timeline could look something like this. This is a bit more complicated, let's say, but it could be as easy as you dragging a line. Here you're going to have all of your projects. We are project 1, project 2, project 4, so on and so forth. And you are going to have timelines for each ones. 3 weeks, 1 month, depending on how long do you think it's going to take, or you could just talk with AI and create an estimation on how long each project is going to take. But for each project, you would ideally create a separate timeline. So for project 1, let's say you're going to have stage 1, which is going to be designing the AI solution itself, creating diagrams to see exactly how that automation or how that AI infrastructure would look like. Then you're going to build it. Then you're going to test and train it, and then you're going to launch it, right? This might take, let's say, 3 weeks. This is going to be project 1. Then you're going to go on project 2, create another timeline for project 2, and so on and so forth, so that you have a clear image on how you are going to build all of these AI solutions across your company in 1 year time, or however long it's going to take. Now, once we have the roadmap for the harder stuff, we are going to go and document everything. Really, really important. We need to create SOPs and architectures for everything that we build for our company. Even if it is not related to AI and automations, we need to have everything documented. The CRM, our basic processes, the client journey, the employee journey, daily to-do tasks, so on and so forth, right? And basically, if I disappeared for a week, could this still run? This is going to be the most important question that you need to ask yourself. That is why we document everything. Now, this is a really simple process. You can screen record yourself building the flow into the 5 minutes. You can paste the transcript and screenshot into AI with this simple prompt. Turn this into a SOP 1 page using this template. You are going to paste a template here. Keep it concise, bullet points, number steps, add failure recovery. And the third step would be to review, trim it to 1 page, and publish it into the company space. Another trick would be to create a singular space where you keep all of your SOPs and all of your documents. Go and connect it to Pinecone or connect it to another vector database, and basically have AI trained on all of your company's data. This is huge, by the way. Now, the way you can create quick SOPs would be to use Scribe. At least this is what I am using. Let me actually show you how it works. So let's say you are on Google right now. Scribe is going to give you this quick plugin. You're going to click here and click Start Capture. It is going to then capture each and every one of your clicks. It is going to video record. It is going to have a voice transcription. And then it is going to create a step-by-step process on each click that you actually took on the screen, which is crazy. You just basically click Start Capture and you're going to do the action that you are going to take. And it is going to create you a complete SOP with documentation for that specific action or flow or process. So helpful. Now we are going to go to the last step, which is going to be to monitor everything and to create a dashboard. You can do this by using Lovable. Now, ideally, you will have a big percentage of your data in one singular space. Therefore, you're going to be able to process that data using AI. It's basically what I told you with Pinecone. If you have everything in one singular space, you then can call AI, you can use AI to be able to process all of that data, and you're going to have a clearer picture if you build a physical visual dashboard using Lovable. So it's going to help you create and take decisions for your company in order to scale it or in order to maybe switch some things around, right? You will be able to create a dashboard where to calculate and store most of your KPIs, which is absolutely huge, just like we talked about. Now, as a suggestion, I personally use ClickUp in order to create a single source of truth. So I use ClickUp to have the CRM, to have the project management tool, and to have all of the documents in one singular space. Now, because of that, you have all of the data in one space, and I can then connect ClickUp to Make and Lovable to create a dashboard with all of the KPIs that my company is tracking inside the single source of truth. Some dashboards would look something like this with Lovable. These are just some random dashboards design that I got, but usually they do turn out to look something like this, which is really, really helpful if you have all of these diagrams and you have all of the data inside lists and pie charts and so on and so forth. So yeah, this would be basically the last step. To recap everything, right? We have learned how to use no-code tools, AIs and APIs, also data layers. Then we have documented everything that we have in our current business. Then we are going to create an AI co-founder that is going to help us brainstorm everything about our business. And he is going to know a lot more about our business. So he's going to help us in the future too. We are going to get the AI projects that we need. We are going to prioritize them. We are going to create a timeline for them after we have built the low-hanging fruits, which are going to be the easiest ones and the most high impact automations or AI infrastructures. Once we have a timeline and everything, we are going to document every process and every AI project that we have created inside our business. And lastly, we are going to create the dashboards in order to keep everything on track and to know exactly how our business is functioning and how we can scale it further. So these are the 9 steps that I would take in order to implement AI into my company if I was just starting to learn AI. Again, you are going to have a lot of assets inside my community, first link in the description. Also there, I'm going to dive much deeper into each one of these steps and multiple other steps in order to be able to create AI infrastructures for businesses, for your businesses or for other people's businesses. If you have any questions, please put them down below in the comments. I'm going to read all of them and I'm going to answer as much as I can. Thank you for watching and see you on the next one.